and I turned on studio mode because this is very important that I get used to being back in studio mode. I gotta switch my scenes. There I am. All right. Well, we'll probably have to wait for someone to see or to say what our audio is like. But if you've got VODs to watch, I'm down with that. I'm down to try to just host a game and see if we can watch people play live. Whichever. Let's transition to this that way we can promote it for tomorrow. I don't think I have any VODs of 1v1s offhand, unless you have some that are saved from previous Battle of the Beehives. We could watch those. That'd be fun. And aside from that, we could start Pokemon tonight, dude. I don't care.
I'm looking.
I think I observed one 1v1 like 3 nights ago. I'll see if I've got it.
Alright, game name is BOTB and then the password is 6.
Okay. I gotta look for the one that I watched the other night. Okay. I'm gonna make myself show up as busy at least. It's checking the password right now. Now we're downloading it. And now I'm in. Look at that win-loss record.
Look at your win-loss record.
No, I don't want to look at my win-loss record. We should get this out of the way early. Would you like me to do the player intros, or would you like to do the player intros this time?
No, I think you can keep doing it, and then I don't know if it'll show up on stream, but I can do the...
No, it'll show up. Oh, damn it. Okay. So, in the 3 o'clock position or middle right, it is our orange Terran, Gomdor.
Oh, you're actually practicing?
Yeah, just for fun. Like, I'll at least intro these guys, then we can just kind of go over everything. And then, just in case anyone does show up, at 6 o'clock, it is our red Protoss, DeWalt. I did think you were gonna spam the. I really just. Yeah. Overall, I am totally down to just kind of talk things over with you. Whatever you think we might want to change for tomorrow. I personally am going to kind of watch how especially Gomdor is playing to get kind of reacquainted with his builds, especially against Protoss. What were your expectations? There we go.
I think we had everything pretty fleshed out after the last couple, so
Okay.
I don't really have anything major to address.
Well, this is... Oh, go ahead.
I think just having the same level of excitement is important that you always do.
And the same level of excitement that you always have. That's important to do. Like this excitement right now.
So pumped.
I know. You can barely contain yourself. I know, but I just don't know if everyone else does. But this was the first game they went against each other, correct? Because the second one, Gomdor was at 9 o'clock, and DeWalt went some crazy cannon pressure. Right?
Yeah, this is the first game. Yeah.
So he went, I didn't pay attention. I said I was going to, and I watched his SCV as I was talking to you and harassing, teasing you a little bit. Did he just go Rax Command Center?
Yes.
That's pretty crazy. And he's already going up to 3cc. That's maybe we shouldn't be broadcasting this, I guess, but everyone, if they really did want to, they could just look it up on YouTube. That's one vulnerability, that he kind of goes greedy at the very start. I'm sure part of it's reactive, though.
I think the major thing is that as soon as you see the cannon, even if you don't scout them, you're led to believe that he probably went for a Nexus first build. You wouldn't really build a Forge that early if you're going for a 3-gate build, because you just wouldn't have the money to afford all your units. Unless, of course, you're going for a fake where you build the cannons and then just top it off with like 6 gateways. But at that point, Terran would probably get the second command center anyways, throw it down an academy, and then just scan as soon as possible, and they would see it. So
that's a good point. I wonder if...
I think...
Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, I think unless it's just a proxy 3-gate play, or it's like you build the cannons up front, you tech extremely quickly, and then you put like a robo, in this case say at 1 o'clock, and then proxy, it'd be really hard to catch Terrans off guard, because the command center first play is usually going to be okay as long as the Protoss goes Forge first and builds a cannon or two.
Yeah.
They just can't punish them quick enough.
I guess even if you were to try to debate him a little bit and throw a cannon down and then throw gateways up behind it, like you're saying, they'll still have a little bit of that extra time to go for the command center anyway. And then just puts you behind.
Yeah, the Terran will build bunkers anyways, in that case. Here, I was hoping to see something like DeWalt put like Dragoons on the cliff. Because, yeah, most people think, I mean, you can only put tanks up there, but if you put Dragoons up there, it'll force like that. I was hoping for more. It'll force the Wraiths to have to either respect the shuttle, or respect their Dragoons from attacking the shuttle, or the Marines and their AI gets all wonky.
Yeah.
And then therefore it forces the Terran to constantly focus their tanks, plus make sure their Marines don't die.
Right, which they just, even still with only one, a lot of Marines did get obliterated right there, but man, that 3cc economy, he really cranks it up, and he really stays on bio for a long time too. That seemed kind of uncommon, but...
Yeah, it seems like what other players seem to do is really just stay on like 5 racks, and then just go for like mass factories, and then opt for Rave/Valks to defend against drones. But it looks like his style of play is he'd rather just rely on bio to handle not only the drops but also just the Doom drops. So
I love it personally. I have always wanted to have that hybrid play work. He leaves a little bit of a pathway for his Marines to get through. It can work against you for storm drops, but that's what the bio's there for anyway.
Yeah, just like this kind of play overall does heavily rely on like obviously micro, and in this case SimCity, because yeah, like you said, like the reach isn't as far as the tanks would, and then you have to get through the cracks. So I also would have liked to see DeWalt do more like drop harass coupled with the Corsairs to tank the shots with the Reavers as he climbs up to the carriers, but I think it's not necessarily a naked carrier tech, but gateway units will ultimately get pushed if it's just gateway. Like you have to couple it with, High Templars or Reavers or, non-gateway units.
It almost turns
there
into...
has to be...
My bad.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say it's just you can't just A move, and I know that's like a meme, but you against good Terrans, you legitimately just can't just A move.
Yeah, I was thinking it reminds me of a ladder game at that point. Like, you should have arbiters, as weird as that sounds, to even if you're going to stasis, or recall. Recalls are really strong. Recalls with Reavers, like, we see that still in 3v3s all the time.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
So just Gateway Man
Yeah.
is tough.
Yeah, I mean, it works if the Terran's not on top of their macro, and then it also works if the Terran just sieges at the last minute, which is what a lot of Terrans do. But if you're playing against a good Terran who sieges ahead of time with position, it's not gonna work, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So.
And when you were saying earlier, if he's going to try to proxy a Robo, that wouldn't work either because there's a Marine from Gomdor up there. So I get that it was a good read. It just also happened, even though it was a reaction, it was just a little greedy. So if there's a way to try to trick a Terran, I think that's one tell at least. I do think his scouting is probably too, or like game intuition and scouting is too good for that. But I was just thinking if I were to try to pull a game, which I know, don't get me wrong, I know that I wouldn't win anyway, but if I were to try to pull some type of shenanigans, that's what I would do. I'd be like, okay, I can see that if it looks this way, he's going to go for a couple extra CCs, and that's your time to try to get a 1-2 punch or something to at least get an advantage. What do you think?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, right, like, I agree with you.
And that's my follow-up question is, what do you think for players tomorrow going up against someone who is so on top of their scouting and, I don't know, I'd say optimizing their build orders? And watching this first game, what do you think their best chances?
It really would just honestly come down to build order advantage. Like, you know, if you see or feel that Gondor is gonna react this way, in this case 3 CC, if you go Nexus first, then excuse me, you should go 3 Nexus right off the bat after your cannons, and then eventually tech straight into drops or speed shuttles. Now the issue becomes, is Gondor gonna react by following up 3 CCs, or is he gonna just, you know, go for 5 racks and then push you and kill you, you know? It's like, you can't base his play off of this one game, because he's the type of player, and I'm pretty sure he's more reactive of what you do, because he's confident that he can beat you, assuming there's not a major build order disadvantage.
Yeah.
I think a lot of players sort of miss the fact that, you know, yeah, I just said that you can build a robo at 1 or 5. It would work, you know, in this scenario, but it's because Gondor saw certain things, which is why he built the way he did.
Yeah.
You know?
Which, I don't know, he said on the forum that he doesn't stream or anything like that, but does he have, like, how Hydra has a really, from at least from what you told me, he's got like a really large reputation, or I would say that he's like a staple or whatever, at least in SCW. And so is Gomdor, does he have something like that? Because he's obviously really good. So, like, do you know just more about him in general?
I know he plays a lot of Korean fastest with a lot of actual, like, Korean streamers like Brain and Shin and Gensei. I mean, he is, I think, known to be quiet or not particularly talkative.
Okay.
Yeah, which probably leads to him not wanting to stream. So
He just wants to make a part-time living off of our tournament. I get it.
yeah, I mean, and yeah, coupled with that, I'm pretty sure the only reason he's playing SCW is because there is a prize pool for it. So
Okay.
T-Bell's saying that Joel is top 5. I wouldn't really say he's top 5, but I mean, it depends on the scenario. If we're talking about strictly 1v1, maybe, but I could argue that there are better players.
That
But
who?
he is Gomdor or Pjale.
Oh, okay.
Um, but he is, I would say, top 10. Or he's pretty much one of the names that you would say is a common like mainstay in Korean fastest, or I guess fastest as a whole.
Okay, so he is a known player, just on top of everything
Yes.
else that you just told me, just more quiet and reserved. Doesn't stream, but is so good that he plays with all the other streamers. That's kind of an interesting place to be, I think.
Yeah, right. I mean, not anyone can say that they can take games off of like 458 or Gensei or potentially Shin, or as hyped as Do gets 1v1 wise, he's not really, relative to the other players, he's not really that good.
Oh, I'll watch him when he goes through phases where he'll be playing that, and I agree with you. It's like a legitimate practice session for him, and I could tell because I could watch him and it's all second nature for when he's doing his 3v3s, and I think it's especially if he's playing with people he knows, and he'll hover around 200 or 250 APM, which is obviously he's sleeping at that point. But it was either earlier this year or last year when he was practicing 1v1s. Dude, I could tell it was getting sweaty, and it was he was losing a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, and I hosted, by the way, he would absolutely murk like me, you, like all of
Oh,
the non-Korean players. But
for
like
sure.
it's crazy just how different the play style and just the overall skill gap it is between like us as the non-Koreans and the Koreans are. Like they're able to register and process what they're seeing in the build that you're going for immediately and respond to that. And
That's so
then not
true.
only that, yeah, couple that with like the micro and the overall mechanics, it's just like almost an impossible hurdle, or it feels like an impossible hurdle. But um, based
That's
on the signups, I want to be confident, and I am confident actually that Hydra would be able to uh, take that game.
Oh, you think so? Because I've never been able to watch him play. I know that you hosted. I was gonna add. We had two signups, and um, I was gonna surprise everybody. I was just too slow because I was listening to you. So what about Hydra? And this is a real question. What about Hydra? With everything that you just said, that there's such a skill gap, and also it's because these dudes play for like 6 hours is a low day for them, so, or like a short day for them, because a 6 hour stream is like a second stream of the day after they've already had like an 8 hour stream. At least that's what I've gathered. So what's the special sauce, or what's the X factor with Hydra?
Mm, I think an easy simplification of, in my opinion, what makes Hydra the best non-Korean fastest player is that he does the simple things well. Like in terms of sort of what I mentioned earlier with reacting to builds, he actually understands, okay, there's one cannon, probably going to be an aggressive gateway build, or if there's two cannons, he's probably going for, faster tech. Um, and then if he sees, oh, looks like there's a zealot already, that doesn't make sense. He shouldn't have a zealot already, so that means he's going to go for a fast gateway attack. So he would pull drones right away, build, and I think he I think he understands the game a lot better than other non-Korean fastest players. Other fastest players,
Mm-hmm.
like SCW players, I think they get by the way they do strictly off of mechanics. Like they're good at micro, they're good at macro. They're probably better at macro than they are micro, but and they're also relatively resilient or stubborn. Like they don't want to die, so they're willing to keep it going for as long as they can. But Hydra actually, in my opinion, plays the game um, I don't want to say the right way, but sort of the right way. And then his micro and macro is also obviously solid. So um, I think if you watch him, you would think something that's obvious when you're watching is it's like when you're watching it, it's so obvious to you, but when you're playing it, it's obviously a lot harder. But I think he sees that a lot better than other players do.
Like the bigger picture.
Right.
As if as if he was one, like, just not to be too much of a smart ass, but just like as if he was an outside observer. Because at first I was gonna say it just seems like his game sense is his superpower. Obviously you have to have the groundwork, like you got to have the base mechanics, because I mean everyone on Twitch, like me included, could watch even StarCraft 2 right now and be like, what the hell are you doing, guy? And then but then, as you're saying too, just as when you're playing and you're in it and your mind's thinking about, they could be doing this or this or this, I got to be prepared for this, and I also, my timings on this have to be right, or I got to make sure I don't get supply blocked, and there's positioning, and if you're going up against a random player, there's so many factors that all hit at the same time. So to try to parse through all that and be able to do that quickly, like you're saying, just by even seeing one zealot, okay, like I get it. Like, I'm starting to pick up what you're putting down. I hope that for your sake he can deliver tomorrow and give us a good game.
I'm pretty sure you will.
Yeah, I think he will.
Yeah, just to like just simple things that you would think that is so obvious or so easy or so intuitive, we just don't think about right away. For instance, very commonly, like what I see him do is he'll put overlords on over his drones, so that way when, and this is, you know, only in a case-by-case scenario, of course. If you're going in Storm, this is sort of moot point, but if he's playing against Terran, to make it harder to radiate, he'll actually put overlords on top of his drone so that it's not as easy to target. Or he'll bait out like cannon fire with a certain unit and then just walk past with other fragile units, you know, just things like that. I think, you know, it just seems so obvious, but it's just not implemented as often as I would like to see, and Hydra does it well in my opinion.
Yeah, little finesse moves almost. So this is funny. Gomdor was just obliterating the probe line, and then those cannons finished and just killed all of his Marines. He's still way ahead, but that was just kind of a funny. I wonder if he let his foot off the gas for a second because he was dominating so hard. Since we were going over that, I was all, damn, he's freaking killed. Even the SCV has 2 kills, and now those, I don't know, 3 or 4 Marines had 2 kills apiece, and all suddenly they just kind of got obliterated. But okay, so there's little extra along with being able to predict well or have kind of a general idea of how the game is going. Oh my gosh, this is the fire bats. I forgot. This like scared every other Protoss the rest of the day because he did it like 2 games in a row. Anyway, and it's especially funny because let's go reverse. It's just barely out of vision. For Steve, Gangster Steve, poor Steve. He sees it now, but it's too late. And he doesn't.
Yeah, this was a game where it sort of just was honestly just a spanking. It wasn't really close at all. And the worst part is, you know, after the first Marine gets the probe, you usually are just so frazzled that you make a lot of misclicks and you forget your timing, or you lose your timings, you know. Yeah, so it's tough, honestly. After you lose your first probe, or after something that usually isn't supposed to happen, like it's not part of the normal routine, where in this case two or three Marines just show up and forces you to pull probes, and then the micro is so good so that you lose probes, you know. It's tough. And then also, we mentioned this too, I think often enough, like, you know, playing in front of, like, knowing that people are watching is not easy. And I think a good example is when you hear Cross talk about it, like Cross we know is a very good player,
He just
but
quits. I'm
yeah,
sure
he
he
didn't even GG
GG'd.
that game.
He
No, he
didn't?
didn't actually. No,
Okay. Yeah,
I
that
remember
was
he
the
didn't.
theme for the day. There's a lot of bitter protoss.
Yeah, but just to explain like how difficult it can be, we see Cross, like again a player that we all know is good, like struggles in like live settings because he gets nervous because like he knows people are watching. He knows that, you know, it's so I don't want to say it's high stakes, but like he knows that people are also watching and expecting something. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's a nerve-wracking moment, and seeing that happen to yourself, like, isn't I can't imagine it being an encouraging situation.
That and like I'm sure there's a little bit of a reputation thing going on with the two. This is a much smaller scale, but I'm gonna sound like an old football player that's like reliving his glory days. But this is like the first and the quickest example that I can think of is like the one time that Artosis said that he would play fastest with me, and then he just started getting all the guys in the chat. Again, this is just probably a microcosm or whatever. I don't think I even said that right, but it's just like a very, very lesser and small example. Even that, I was like, oh shit! Like, not only do I not want to like embarrass myself in front of just someone that I've watched or look up to for a super long time. Anyway, but just like his audience too. And this is a game that I've been playing for, like this game mode I've been playing for a long time. So to just bungle it in front of his whatever 1,500 or 2,000 viewers at the time, it definitely adds a different pressure. So that's the closest thing
Right.
I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
I had a few moments doing local LAN StarCraft 2 tournaments where
Mm-hmm.
I think the way that they describe it when Artosis and Tasteless are casting games, it's that adrenaline that kicks in, and then you're just playing on a totally different plane. And
Mm-hmm.
I get it. So I think the only way through it, even laddering could feel like that. I think the only way through it is just to do it more. Because I used to, I guess I'm so fortunate that embarrassing things I play so poorly. Or there's so many embarrassing things in a night with me. I'm almost immune to it now. But not when not when I first started streaming. And definitely not when like if someone big hosts you and they're like, yeah, let's play the game that you play. It's like, oh shit, like I can't fuck this up. And then as soon as I say that in my head, it's like, well, you know what you're gonna do, right?
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
All right, you got another one.
And
Queue
I
up.
mean,
Oh, go ahead.
playing after an Artosis raid, I'd imagine is a little bit, actually a little bit harder than this situation where this situation is a little bit more competitive probably, but after an Artosis raid, you probably have 20 times the viewers, or not even 20, 200 times the viewers that you would have versus a Beehive, you know, so.
It's true, but it's still.
You know.
Go ahead.
I was just say, I mean, I can't tell you, I don't think I've ever once in my whole life ever done anything in front of maybe more than 100, 200 people. So thinking about that and how nervous I was, and then magnify that by 10 times the crowd, you know, is not an easy task. Just to put in perspective how difficult just performing can be.
Yeah, for sure. And you were first of all, I got distracted because we got Hydra at 6 o'clock, so I get to see one of his games before tomorrow. Assuming that he plays, which he should, because he like just signed up today. And Let's Go SC. I feel like I've seen that username before, but I don't know if that's like.
So this is Cross as Protoss against Hydra.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to look up his stats. There's no stats found for Let's Go SC. That makes sense. But I don't know. To what you were saying before, that is true, and I don't even think, luckily enough, I don't think I thought about it in those terms. Maybe I just have gotten lucky that I stream at a time that Artosis doesn't have a lot of options to host people. So it's like, sometimes it's like, it's either me or Tasteless, and he probably hosts Tasteless so many times that he's like got to break it up a little bit. Anyway, so, and he really does host a bunch of different types of people. So maybe out of just the handful of times that he's hosted me, oh look, you got an Overlord, so that's legit. And anyway, go ahead.
Hydra purposely gave up the Overlord so you can see what he was doing.
As soon as I said that, I pieced it together. He had to make sure to check for tech and if there was an extra Nexus, like if an all-in was coming. Still though, I mean, that's, I guess he didn't like super need it, obviously, because he chose, like, it's a willing sacrifice, like watching Dark play StarCraft 2. He would sacrifice, or will sacrifice, Overlords for scouting purposes, but anyway, either way, maybe it would have been better if he blocked the scout then, right? If he could have had enough Dragoons, or I don't know, but...
right, yeah, in a perfect situation.
So, I guess I could talk more about that other stuff towards the end. It looks like this is a typical game, except Hydra was able to get a hatchery up, and he is super defending. This is a lot of sunken colonies. Yeah,
I mean, he saw the 6 gateways, and I mean, it's like, if your front gets broken, then you're dead, right? So, if you defend anything, it should be the front, the choke.
Do you think it is worth it for Cross to... I'm sure you already know what the outcome of this is, but from a blind perspective like mine, do you think it's cool that he's also patrolling with these Dragoons on the outside too, kind of keeping Zerg honest a little bit, but is it worth it to continue the bust, or should you switch gears and maybe do go for like a really big Doom drop?
I think in a perfect situation, it's best to go for both. You sort of lightly threaten the front, and if you see that they're not building Sunkens, then you sort of fully commit to it. And then all the meanwhile, you're teching up 2 drops, which he just did.
Yeah, he got at least 10 drones. I didn't see what the first storm got.
But if you, for whatever reason, you can't do one or the other, then, or you can't do both, then teching to drops would probably be better, because if you let the Zerg just sit and mine as much as they want, then just like in ladder, the Zerg army will eventually just overrun you.
Okay. I like how he's building Corsairs now. When I think of... the more that we watch this, the more I kind of associate it with low money map strategies, like ladder strategies a little bit. I know it's completely different, but the idea that I had is... And this works in 3v3 fastest too, so it's not anything grandiose, but I was wondering... Oh, there's another... Ooh, that was a really good drop. He got like... Dude, he's at 35 supply. I know Cross was over 100 supply. He's like 112 or 115, so they traded. But man, going down to 30 supply at 11 minutes, that is tough. Zerg is tough.
Oh yeah.
I cut myself off on that one because I was just thinking, like, to build Corsairs to harass the Overlords. See that a lot in ladder maps, or like just pro matches, so... It's cool to see him now. Dude, another drop. Ooh, being able to just hit the hive is so broken. The fact that that you can storm all the drones if they don't move them off of just hitting their hatchery is pretty crazy. But anyway.
Damn, you're sympathizing for the Zergs, huh?
I will always sympathize for the other race than Protoss. But Zerg especially, even more than Terran and Fastest, like I also fall for the propaganda, and everybody talks about how it's just so, and we've watched it over this past year, how damn hard it is for, I think we've had one Zerg victory, maybe, I don't even know if we've even had that. We gotta
No, I
look.
don't think we've had a Zerg victory.
Oh, he gooped him. That was a great catch. And now all of a sudden it's almost even. And for Zerg, that's like almost being ahead. Oh. Oh. You really didn't get too many drones either.
Yeah, the one thing to note about the being able to storm the hive is that, you know, some Protosses will just opt for that because it's better than misclicking, but if you think about it, if the Zerg just moves downward, then they're not hit by storm, as opposed to normally if the storm hits the mineral patch, even if you're moving down, you'll still be hit by it, right? The storm.
Yeah.
So it sort of works. I guess there's a pro and con to it.
Yeah, I was just thinking that at least there's an upside to it, that if you're on top of it, you can move your drones really quickly, and then you can save them a lot faster, which is again not I guess I only care about myself. That I was thinking, I'm glad that I was never like, when I'm desperate sometimes I'll remember to hit the hatchery, but most of the time I always try to go for the mineral patch, and it's not for any real reason at all. And fortunately, ooh, he's gonna catch some overlords. Good drop over here. Ish. At least he'll trade out. That was pretty crazy too. Does he want to try to get the? Yeah, there we go. He is targeting the Greater Spire. I know.
Right now, what the first house is trying to do is just find a weak point where they can sort of attack and see if they can just clear out the army and clear out the major tech buildings.
And get drones too.
Not right, and get drones while they can. You see that Hydra is just starving for money, whereas Cross is obviously, you know, perfectly good to go.
Yeah.
So Zerg is just playing survival mode, but we'll eventually see, assuming it gets to that point, where if they can get on a comfortable hive tech, get Defilers out, get Guardians out and Devourers out, that they'll be able to start to threaten a little bit more.
It 1v1 is an interesting beast with this, because it's very similar feeling to Terran, hilariously enough, where you have to just hold and you have to keep living and holding and dodging the storm drops and surviving until pretty much like late-ish mid-game into late game, and then once you're close to maxing out, like right now their supplies are even, but I even still understand him being super extra careful. He's lived this long, he's got a good drone count, and he does have the Guardians like you were saying. He does have a Defiler. He has like just about everything that he needs, and once he does push out, I just think that a maxed out Zerg army will just be so much scarier. He is starting to break down the front door though, but yeah, Zerg, he's weathered, pun intended, I guess, he's literally weathered the storm and the Reaver drops, so it's tough.
Yeah, and now we're sort of seeing Protoss, and this almost sort of always is how it is, where Protoss is strong, don't get me wrong, but then eventually they will run out of options where they can make an impact. You know, whether it's against Terran or whether it's against Zerg, they will eventually lose out on the higher tech units. You know, against Terran, obviously 3-3 mech will just steamroll gateway units. And then here, there's really no answer to Lurker, Zergling, Swarm unless you build a ton of Archons and a ton of Reavers, but then then that gets countered by Mass Hydras. So Mass Hydras and Guardians, which, I mean, the fastest, you can replenish that for however long you need to. So
I did notice that last drop did hit him back down to 30-ish drones, and that was really good, because then it kept him broke. If only he had, which he is about to do it again right now, I was gonna say, if only he could, like, oh my gosh, that was crazy. The plague timing was pretty great too on that one. I think another thing that I I personally think might be a little underutilized is Maelstrom. Just kidding. I think maybe Stasis could be helpful. um, if it does turn into what it's about to turn into, this big, I can't think of a better word, so box art battle. That's a really cool idea too. Just right down the front. Oh, that Templar almost had the money shot. Yeah, now, kind of as you were saying, Zergling, Dark Swarm, Guardian Hydra. He could bring up the lurkers if he wants. He's plaguing everything. He didn't fully break out yet, though.
Yeah, if he had gotten the drones earlier, it would have been obviously a way different story, but because he couldn't consistently actually threaten the drones or the economy, Hydra was just sort of always in the game, I guess.
Yeah.
If he had sort of all of them at one point, it'd be a totally different story. He'd be like, minimal Hydras, minimal, stationary defense, and Cross could potentially find like a weakness or the chink in the armor and then just kill him. But because he was always there with the economy, he's always able to just replenish his drones as needed. And later the game goes by, if you all Zerg, it really doesn't matter because unlike Terran and Protoss, they can just replenish their drone count immediately. So,
right.
Yeah, he did get the Storm, or I'm sorry, yeah, he did get the Storm, which did kill a good amount of his drones, but it really didn't matter anymore because he just had the hatchery count. He has the tech, so it's not like he's worried about not having units. And right here,
that's good stasis.
Yeah, it is a dangerous point for Hydra where he could get just busted down by the Reavers and Zealots. But outside of that, there's not much. And eventually, like, this is sort of cliche, but like the swarm is just never ending. Like, you can just constantly just bust out Zerglings and bust out Zerglings. And even if the Zergling gets one scratch on him, eventually the Reaver will go down, right? So
I think so. When he did that one storm that got Hydra down to 30 drones, if the follow-up one had hit, Hydra was still really broke. And now it's completely flipped, where Hydra, he's getting rid of drones now. He's going to keep building hatcheries forever and ever and ever anyway. But I think, like, if there's maybe one subsequent drop after, I think that would have been super. I think that would have also kept this from happening, at least so soon. I like this drop attempt too, but man, he got gooped. He got gooped, and then he got those Scourge hittings. That was a really good game to watch, actually. And it's good to see how Hydra can hold on and get to the point where he needs to, where he can like push out and win. It'll be a totally different story against Terran, obviously, but still there's gonna be a lot of similarities where Terran, I think the onus is on, it's up to the Terran to do the damage to the Zerg to keep them small. You said something like that a few minutes ago. It's up to the other players to stop. Here, I'll just feed into it. To prevent the swarm from becoming unstoppable, you gotta keep kneecapping it, I guess. And one thing before I move on, I don't think this is critical, I guess, but one thing I thought was kind of weird is you had like 10 to 20-ish, not maybe that. How much supply is a Dragoon? I thought it was 2. Is it just 1?
It's 2.
So he had a Dragoon just about every corner of the map. Do you think like that 10 to 14 supply could have helped him when he was close to breaking Zerg a couple times? I think having Dragoons to maybe catch Overlords is good, but would you rather... if I were thinking late game and I want the biggest army that I can, that's the reason why you get rid of probes and drones at a certain point. So would it have been better to maybe put like a pylon there, or a pylon and a cannon even? Again, I know I'm just like an ignorant idiot or whatever, but I think it would have been... it would make sense to have all your army, right?
I think they're valid questions, but I think for the price of what they could give, so putting a Dragoon there would sort of deter and or spot the overlords from either coming out for scouting purposes or for drops. You could put a pylon there, but then the issue becomes, well, if I send the overlord out, a dragoon can just kill it. Whereas a pylon would just spot it, but I can't do anything about it. I have to, at that point, send the dragoon down to kill it. Now, yes, you could build a pylon and a cannon, but then the investment of your time to put a probe down there, make a pylon, and then wait for that to make a cannon, I think was just too much, or at least in my opinion, Cross didn't feel that that was worth it. And honestly, 4 dragoons would not have changed that at all, because dragoons just it wouldn't be it wouldn't actually apply to fights against Zerglings. They would just get melted. What he needed were Zealots and Reavers and Archons.
I agree. I just think
Mm-hmm.
so. I think there is. I think it was just one little thing that I looked at, and it's not even a real criticism. It's really just something that I noticed because my perspective is just purely just out of curiosity and understanding, and so I get that, like and if they send Scourge out too, then you can attack the Scourge and you can chase the overlords away. Just to be devil's advocate, I was like, well, you had 30 minutes, and I know that 30 minutes of torment, because you're constantly you're trying to constantly create openings for yourself to like keep yourself in the game by hurting their economy. So for as much as I joke about Protoss, I get that what he was working so hard for 30 minutes was to stop what was happening right at the end, which is to keep Zerg from becoming like out of control. And maybe the Dragoons die and you build like 1 or 2 extra Reavers, or you build an extra Archon or something. So I don't think that I don't think that was like what lost him the game or anything like that. It was just when I looked at all the corners of the map and there was just these units, it was just weird to me, because I think like, here's a good example. Like, when Ozzy was, like, one punch breaking Terrans or whatever with his Protoss, his not obscure, but his unorthodox Protoss build, I think there's a couple times that it would have been maybe not as winnable or a lot hairier if he was, like, 4 to 6 units, Dragoons or Zealots less. And I don't think it ever came down to the wire like that. So it was just purely speculation or scientific discussion, I guess, on that, of just needing all and having all the firepower that you possibly can, or utilizing your supply the best that you can. Anyway, so that it was super, super minor, and I think the focus is probably better off trying to like the drops and breaking the front like he was, and maybe going after tech and stuff like that. Other ways to slow Zerg down. There's just one tiny thing I was thinking about. Anyway,
Yeah, I think the
Oh, go ahead.
I think the Dragoons offered more than what they could, than what it would have provided if you had exchanged them for Zealots, because if you notice, like all throughout, he was keeping the overlords within the base. Like, as Hydra oftentimes kept trying to push out the overlords for either vision or scouting purposes, and they would constantly get picked off and die because Cross had vision around the base.
Yeah.
I think if he had traded them for 2 Reavers, that would have maybe helped them survive a little bit more, but I think that would have also lost him that vision and that potential advantage of keeping Hydra in check within his base. And then he may have just gotten, even if it's like 2 or 3 overlords, by the time Defiler tech comes out, you just need 2 lurkers and a Defiler, right? That's it. And then your probe line is gone. So I think that's what he was probably worried about a little bit more. Yeah. And also the investment in time and just control of the probe and whatnot.
Well, it's too bad that I wanted to make the joke of, like, yeah, because those overlords get out, like, then there could be a Nidus in your base. It's like, oh shit, wrong game. But it's too bad that he didn't pick Zerg, because I'd like to see more late game either PVZs or TVZs, and maybe we'll see it. Well, it just depends, because GGEZ or Red or BX are going to have to random a Zerg and beat Gomdor, which is going to be a feat, and then they're going to have to beat everybody else. Yeah, that's one thing that I am missing is seeing some late game Zerg games, but I can see why, because he had to survive an onslaught for like 25 minutes and really be on top of moving his drones out of the way, all the lurkers around his base, all the guardians around his base, getting like enough defilers and plaguing everything, just eating army after army after army till finally he had enough to defend and attack and lose completely inefficiently, by the way, like trying to push out the front of his base as those reavers just ate those or obliterated those clumps of zerglings and not have it matter because he finally had so many hatcheries. There's definitely an art to that game, and kudos to Cross for sticking in for as long as he did, because that's tough on both sides. I really do believe that that's because the Zerg was defending so well, and you have to get in as Protoss, and then as Zerg you have to defend so well, and you got to break out. So that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm down if you've got any more games like that. I'm super down.
I do have, but I don't want to expose Hydra any more than I already have.
Well,
but
he's gonna
it
play
is
as
interesting.
Terran, so
Right.
that's fine. We don't have to show any more of him. Do you have any more of like, I don't know, just games that we maybe haven't seen, or I guess that I haven't seen, or we could host one or something? Hamburger Sasu for Zerg wins. Okay, so that's what we got to do. And I didn't say what up to everybody, but Big Ol, I saw you. What up, T-Bell? Same. Crockington. Was it a bot, Crockington? In diplomacy? No, I was looking again today for that zombie game and I didn't. That's fine. I don't you don't have to look for more random VODs or anything like that. And I mean, it's 2 a.m. for Dizzy. We were gonna get started earlier, but we got to talking about Pokemans and... What up, Tony?
I don't really have any other replays that I think is relevant or pertinent.
Okay. Well, I owe a carrier rush, so we could sneak one of those in. T-Bell, Crockington, Tony. Do we need to fix our audio at all? I know we got to get like Dizzy some 6-hour energy shots or something before we start.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. How does the sound?
All right.
Testing.
Yeah, Crockington said it seems fine. And the only thing I haven't been doing is, so I've got to flip the switch on whether it's a win or a loss, and then I need to make sure that I'm recording each game, and I am like 50-50 when it comes to saving games from Battle of the Beehive, so that's really unfortunate. There's just trying to be entertaining while also wrestling up players, and then listening to you, and then getting the lobby ready or following you into the lobby and making sure everything looks okay and blah blah blah. There's so many little things that to try to keep track of, so that's another thing that I'm going to try to remember for tomorrow. My wife heard my comments, by the way, last night about being completely nude underneath the Totoro Kigurumi, and she was on board.
Oh goodness.
She said as long as we both do it. No, she wasn't. She didn't like that idea. I was like, what? My camera won't even be on. No one will know. And she's like, I would know, or something like that.
Oh god.
Right. It reminds me of The Simpsons, where Flanders goes, it feels like I'm wearing nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Stupid, sexy Flanders. Okay, sounds good.
In terms of during the event, I mean, You don't have to. Like, as soon as I host a lobby, you can just join whenever you get things sorted out. You don't have to join right away. Because once you join, that's the player's cue that you're ready.
Yeah.
So.
And after tonight, I do. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think once you get the splash screen all set, or if you want to do that during the game, well, actually no, you can't do that because you're observing, but if you want to do that after the game is over, get everything sorted, and then we can join, that'll be the cue to go, and then, you know, I'll make sure to handle the logistics with the players and make sure that they're there and on time.
I think I like the idea of as soon as I join, that's kind of the cue to go, and I'll try to find a way to balance it to where I would like to fix the splash screen before I switch to it, but then we're stuck on the victory screen or the quit game screen while I do that. But then if I switch to it and then fix it, obviously it's not as professional and people are watching me fix it in real time and whatever. But I can play around with that and see what works best tomorrow. It's getting pretty late, so yeah, we actually reached an hour, so kudos to us. Do you want to do like a quick 3v3, or do you want to watch maybe like one or two more 1v1s? Or are you done?
I can do whatever.
Oh, well, I just got rated from Into the Mad Cow. Thanks, dude. So it looks like we gotta play at least a little bit. So, since you guys got put here, here's the shameless plug, I guess, because I don't like spamming Reddit, even though I've already posted twice this week. But me and Dizzy, who's here with me, right?
Yes.
Always super positive and enthusiastic Dizzy. We're gonna host a 1v1 King of the Hill tournament tomorrow. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And here's kind of a lineup. Where is it? Right here. Where Gomdor, which we were talking about earlier, he plays with a lot of really good full-time Korean fastest players. And he is the first player and first Terran to completely clean house last Battle of the Beehive, which is Battle of the Beehive 5. Now we're on 6, so he gets to continue his streak, and he also had a $50 bonus because he had a rematch against DeWalt. So we were kind of, as the title of the stream says, we're just kind of getting ready for that. Going over some old games and making sure, hopefully, logistically everything is set up, I guess, to the best of my current ability, or whatever that is. And we just play fastest possible map here. So let's play one real quick. I gotta get that carrier rush in. Would you like to host, or do you want me to?
You can host.
Okay. I should just host this Night of the Living Dead one. Okay. Or we play cat and mouse. I didn't do that. Don't join. That was bullshit. You like TR12, right?
We can do 12, 14, or 16.
I'll try 14. It's late for Dizzy. Oh, ha 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 ha. As soon as I'm done, I gotta add the delay. At least a minute. Yeah, it's from the last time that we were going to town on those zombie games. That zombie RPG game was fun, by the way. For what it's worth. It was only super short once we figured it out.
I think 6 legs.
Yeah, he looks pretty bad. 3 and 4 are also yellow, but I'm willing to give it a try. Cheese foam, what up, dude? Yeah, 8 minutes. Oh, dude, that lava one. I wouldn't mind playing that lava one again either. That was fun. I didn't pick Protoss, goddammit. The volcano escape was sweet. Will you carrier rush in my stead if we keep you alive? Or should
Why
I
didn't
just
you
wait
pick
till next game?
Protoss?
Because I was going to and then I remade the game and forgot. We can just remake right now if you want. I could do that.
I'll try and I suppose I'll try and carry rush, but no guarantees that it'll be anything good.
It's for Rob. And that 50 bucks he donated.
I mean, I'll try, but I'm not sure how likely it is that we'll get there, because it's 2 Terrans surviving on their own.
I'll just float a building into your base. Then you could just win with carriers. It's fine.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
We just gotta buy you time to get the win unit. And then it's fine. Yellow looks fine. He put his supply depot in the right place. Crockington, I don't remember you doing that to me. He said he bunker rushed me to a barracks float, firebat, drop. Oh, is that... Did you redeem those, or did you actually do that? Yeah, yeah. Oh, just when we played. That's okay. Yeah. If I'm remembering correctly, it was against 7 o'clock. Those sneaky firebats. Okay, so there's at least a Zerg, and then it's 2 Protoss, so all the more reason, right? Yeah. And I gotta try to do a bunker to defend myself.
아군이 공격받고 있어요.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Roger that. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. I read you. Report for me, boy. Orders, Captain.
미네랄이 부족해요.
Standing by. Jacked up and good to go. Orders, Captain. Standing by. Jacked up and good to go. Orders, Captain. Give me some of this shoot. Go. Let's move.
Oh, it looks like I'm not gonna make it very long after all. Because they all saw me. And they were not happy with what they saw.
Orders, Captain. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
미네랄이 부족해요.
Let's move. Standing by. Orders, Captain. Reporting for duty. Orders, Captain. You want a piece of me, boy? Orders, Captain. Commander, go. Give me some of this shoot. Jacked up and good to go. Orders, Captain. John reading. Reporting for duty. Yes, sir. I read you.
어쩌죠? 거기엔 건설할 수가 없어요.
Reporting for duty. SCV good to go, sir. Jacked up and good to go. Commander. Yes, sir.
미네랄이 부족해요. SCV, 너희들 혼날 줄 알아?
Go. SCV good to go, sir. Outstanding. Let's move. Commander.
미네랄이 부족해요.
Rock and roll. Let's move. Outstanding. Commander. Report
미네랄이 부족해요.
Go, go, go. Rock and roll. Go, go, go. Reporting for duty. Standing by. Yes, sir. Orders, Captain.
미네랄이 부족해요.
Orders, Captain.
미네랄이 부족해요.
Boy, I read you. Give me some of this shoot. Go, go, go. Commander. Rock and roll. Orders received. Outstanding. Give me some of this shoot. Yes, sir. Rock and roll. Go, go, go. I read you. Orders, Captain. Give me some of this shoot. I read you. Give me some of
미네랄이
this shoot.
부족해요.
Go, go. Jacked up and good to go. Give me some of this shoot. Standing
기지가 공격받고 있어요.
good to go. Orders, Captain.
Wow, this guy retreated at the worst time. Gosh, stop.
Reporting for duty. Yes, sir. I read you. I read you. Standing by. Outstanding. I read you. SCV good to go, sir. You want a piece of me, boy? Standing by. Job's finished. I read you. Standing Orders, by. Job's finished. I read you. SCV good to go, sir.
휴, 거기엔 건설할 수가 없어요.
You want a piece of me, boy? Commander. Roger that. Orders, Captain. Reporting for duty. Orders received. Let's move. Outstanding. Jacked up and good to go. Let's move.
기지가 공격받고 있어요.
Rock and roll. Go, go, go. Orders received.
우와, 부속 건물이 완성됐대요.
Rock and roll. Good to go, sir. Orders, Captain. Jacked up and good to go. Orders, Captain. Yes, sir. Jacked up and good to go.
우리 집이 공격받고 있어요.
Commander, you want a piece of me, boy? Rock and roll. Reporting for duty. Give me some of this shoot. Jacked up and good to go. Give me some of this shoot. I read you. Want a piece of me, boy?
미네랄이 부족해요. 기지가 공격받고 있어요.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
미네랄이 부족해요.
Well, at least 3 o'clock is making an actual attempt to get to you there.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Honestly,
Jacked up and good to go.
오래 기다리셨죠? 연구가 끝났네요.
Alright, I got 1 carrier out. Mission accomplished, right?
heck yeah. But I'm just surprised I made it this far.
That itself is a victory.
Oh, for sure.
미네랄이 부족해요. 미네랄이 부족해요.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Job finished. I read you.
미네랄이 부족해요.
For duty.
Maybe these guys will feel pity on us and just let us win.
너희들 끝날 줄 알아?
They should
You think that's
feel
a thing?
pity for themselves for sucking so bad. I always die to this stuff, so they... I don't know. I think just by default they should just have to quit.
거기엔 건설할 수가 없어요.
Is that how it works?
Like, I survived. That's it.
SCP good to go, sir.
미네랄이 부족해요.
I don't know why they don't have DTs in my base already. They should. I've only tried to build my eBay like 3 times and never built. Why should it?
Piece of me, boy. You want a piece of me, boy? Commander.
I'm sure the Zerg has like 18,000 mutas at this point.
Affirmative.
Hope so. Again, do something with that time that they've got.
State the nature of your medical emergency.
Standing by.
Prepped and ready. Prepped and ready.
Good to go, sir. Standing by. Destination. Jacked up and good to go. Right away, sir. Jacked up and good to go. Destination. I read you.
우와,
SCP good to go,
업그레이드
Report for duty.
휴, 거기엔 건설할 수가 없어요.
Yes, sir. Report for duty. I read you. Report for duty.
거기엔 건설할 수가 없어요.
Orders, Captain. Roger that. Rocket ready to roll out. Orders, sir.
연구 끝.
Affirmative. Job finished. You want a piece of me?
Dude, these carriers are kicking ass. What are you talking about? Those dragoons have got nothing. He's gonna try to storm drop your carriers? What an idiot.
서플라이 디포가 부족해요.
Yeah, that was never gonna happen.
서플라이 디포가 부족해요.
Job report for duty. Job
미네랄이 부족해요. 미네랄이 부족해요. SCV, 너희들 혼날 줄 알아?
Identify target. Go, sir. Elected to, sir. I read you. Right away, sir. I read you. I read you.
미네랄이 부족해요. 미네랄이 부족해요.
Job finished. Destination.
Did someone page me?
Alright, I'll help you, Terran brother.
Outstanding.
On my way.
Orders, sir. Yes, sir.
Did someone
Orders,
page me?
Captain. Orders, sir.
Need medical attention?
Yes, sir. Report for duty. Standing by. Orders, sir. Give me some yes, sir. Yes, sir.
아군이 공격받고 있어요. 우와, 업그레이드가 끝났대요. Where does it hurt? Did someone page me?
Identify target.
우와, 부속 건물이 완성됐대요.
Let's move.
Need medical attention?
Yes, sir. Orders, Captain. Outstanding.
Where does it hurt? Where does it hurt?
I never got stunned. That's cute.
Let's move.
아군이 공격받고 있어요.
Orders, Captain. I'm finished. I read you. You want a piece of me, boy?
건설할 수 없는 지역이에요.
Roger that. Orders, Captain.
업그레이드가 끝났어요. 이제 뭐 하고 말까요?
SCP good to go, sir. Yes, sir.
State the nature of your medical emergency. On my way. Need medical attention? Need medical attention? On my way. Right away. Stat. 오, 우리 친구가 공격받고 있대요. 어서 도와줘요.
I read you. You want a piece of me, boy? SCP good to go, sir. Yes, sir.
어쩌죠? 거기엔 건설할 수가 없어요. 연구 끝. 우와, 업그레이드가 끝났대요.
I read you.
건설할 수 없는 지역이에요.
Yes, sir. Ready to roll out. I read you. Affirmative. Report for piece of me, boy. Orders, Captain.
오, 우리 친구가 공격받고 있대요. 어서 do와줘요.
I read you. Checked up and good to go. Identify target.
Where does it hurt?
Give me some of this shit.
State the nature of your medical emergency.
Orders, Captain. I read you. Job.
좋았다. 부속 건물을 다 지었대요.
Yes, sir. Job ready, sir.
좋았다. 부속 건물을 다 지었대요.
I read
Well, I see you ravaging out on the mini map, so that is good.
you. Want a piece of me, boy?
I
I'm not really doing anything.
Orders received, sir.
State the nature of your medical emergency.
SCP good to go, sir. Yes, sir. Report.
That's gonna be bad for me.
I got ult like 3 times. So I have no money.
Yes, sir.
아군이 공격받고 있어요.
Roger that. Job orders, Captain. Yes, sir.
Ew.
그곳에는 짝꿍이 없어요.
Give me some of this shit. Report for duty. Job finished. I read you. Report for duty. Commander.
Need medical attention? Need medical attention?
I read you. Some of this shit. Orders, Captain? Standing by.
아군이 공격받고 있어요.
Give me some of this shit. Orders, Captain? Standing by. Report for duty. Orders received. Jacked up and good to go. Affirmative. Report for duty.
오? 우리 친구가 공격받고 있대요. 어서 도와줘요.
Delighted to, sir. Let's move. Jacked up and good to go. Yes, sir. SCV good to go, sir. Yes, sir. Jacked up and good to go. Jacked up and
I was gonna say, I'm surprised Zerg hasn't just walked up and just killed us a swarm.
He was trying to, but he was just throwing units away against Terran.
I read you. Yes, sir.
But it looks like this will finally be it. I also got stormed a handful of times. I didn't lose everything.
State the nature of your medical emergency.
Commander.
Did someone page you?
But then the second drop I did.
Yes, sir.
Did someone page me? Where does it hurt? Stat. Right away.
Outstanding.
Need medical attention?
Good to go.
Oh well, I'm dead.
Okay. Well, let's do one more. Big, so you're right. I just didn't have any money.
I actually wouldn't be surprised though if that Game Toss and Flash, if they were just watching our streams or watching your stream.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either. They seem
Because they hopped into your game like pretty much immediately and then hopped into the away team.
yeah. They
And I
kind of
saw Game Toss's name in the viewers list, so
they seemed pretty in the know. So it's like people who cheat at Fortnite. Like, oh, that's how you feel good? Okay. Or that helps you feel good. Whatever.
you're gonna cannon rush or carrier rush, I mean.
Maybe. I have to fulfill. That's pretty lazy. They're lucky that I don't check most of the time. But to join with the same name that you have in chat, that's kind of pathetic, but whatever. I'm in a really bad spot for it, but shit, why not?
You have to appreciate the commitment.
미네랄이
That's right.
모자라요. 프로브 빨리 움직여.
Crockington, I think it'd be a tough road, but the road less traveled, so probably good, right? Crockington learns Zerg. Might be able to save. Maybe you won't need surgery. I think playing Terran might exacerbate your issues.
There's two ways you see people on fastest play Zerg. There's the way that actually benefits your teammates when you need them to, or the type where they think that once they're given enough time they can just carry and they don't actually carry.
Like, just 9 pool. Try to take one out
No,
early.
they like they always do 7 hatch, and then they never ever bother straying from the norm, and they're just expecting to carry.
If they can
Like,
fulfill that
sometimes-
promise, it's fine.
But rarely they do, if the only thing they know is 7 hatch.
What were you gonna say though? Sometimes what? I agree with you though.
부족하네요.
As strong of a build it is, sometimes you just gotta learn to go 5 hatch or 4 hatch or even just make Zerglings and help out your teammates depending on the situation. But
For me, it all just depends on who's in chat at the time. Because it's always not the right thing. So I'm definitely one who would build Zerglings more. I'm probably the one that you think of when it comes to just going 7 hatch over and over and over again. And that is the build I know the best, but I like to 9-4 a little bit more these days, which isn't necessarily good either, because then you're just handicapping yourself. But it's either too many drones or not enough drones, or I should be spending this time building up, not building up enough. Or this
I mean,
thing
it's
is
fun, don't get me wrong, so I understand why people play that way. Like, who wouldn't want to just build, you know, a bunch of hatcheries, make units and then A move, but
I just feel like that's what I end up getting pigeonholed into, or that's what I'm told to do. I personally
Yeah.
don't like not playing the first 6 minutes of the game, but
it's understandable, it's fun, so
파일론이 더 필요해요.
sometimes,
it's fun to win.
if you can, like you're saying though, sometimes those who just want to sit and
파일론을 지어주세요.
just build hatcheries, and then they can't end up like fulfilling on their part of the agreement, which is to overwhelm.
Right, if you're gonna go 7 hatch all the time, you just gotta learn to carry, or you have to carry. Otherwise, you are, you know, just there.
Trash. You're trash.
It's just not worth the investment. Otherwise, it's just not worth the investment, is what I wanted to say.
부족하네요.
Yeah.
파일론을 지어주세요.
Garbage poo poo.
파일론이 더 필요해요.
You know what? Actually, now I'm gonna rephrase those kids that were screen peeking. All 3 of them tried to cheese me, and it had to take me asking you to go carrier, and then they had to like really switch it up. Oh, we really got these guys to build a lot of.
Well, he's in your chat right now saying that he wasn't screen peeking.
Okay. Likely
Okay.
story. It doesn't matter either way. Still survived the 3 rush.
I mean, if he's making the effort, I'd imagine he probably wasn't.
Sure. I just don't care enough about it. I forgot until I remember. I was like, oh wait, I survived all 3 just.
보급품이 부족하네요. 파일론을 지어주세요.
Reminds me there is a. I don't tell the story too much anymore because it's not topical and I don't think about it.
소환이 안 될 것 같죠?
Oh, okay. Sweet, let's go kill this guy. There's this random Korean player who came into my chat once and was just talking shit. And then he joined
Talking
my
about
games.
limbs?
Huh?
공격받고
Are you
있네요.
talking about Lim?
No. This is before that. So it was, I don't even know. Because he only showed up once. It doesn't really happen anymore. But anyway, this guy showed up. He was talking shit. He was joining my games and screen peeking the whole time, and then told me that he wanted to 1v1. And at the end of my stream, I was like, dude, what are you talking about? So I didn't end up getting... I was in kill mode, and then here we are a few minutes later.
You didn't get the content.
I didn't get the... Well, I'm talking about... Yeah, this time I didn't get the content because I was supposed to go for carriers. And I didn't, so I'll have to make it up tomorrow. I think we're both zombie mode, and I'd rather us get some sleep for the... Well, I know I will have a hard time sleeping anyway, so I gotta start somewhat soon. Let's see what... Well, I'm gonna see what up to. Anyway, so yeah, I remember towards the end of this stream, probably like a couple years ago, after this guy just was like trolling and trolling and trolling, and then wanted to 1v1, I sat him down at the end. I was like, A, I don't ever play 1v1s, so I'd be terrible anyway. 2, like, I would have to play off stream, because I see you in here, like, being an asshole, and then still wanting to play. And 3, how would that benefit me at all? I was like, so no, I'm not gonna 1v1 you, that's the dumbest thing. And then I was like, alright, bye dude, and I just turned off the stream. Big T-Bell is around, but I don't think he'll remember just because after you've encountered so many shitheads, it's kind of blurs. You start, at least I start to forget.
Too many.
Yeah. So even though I remember that one, I don't expect him to.
I think a lot of Koreans tend to troll. I don't know. I don't know.
You don't
I feel
know
like
what?
sometimes I hope they're trolling, raging, but you never really know, right? So.
Like when they're just talking shit, you hope it's just for that they're just playing around. They're not really that full of rage.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope, but who knows?
There was a time period where the people I saw talking the most shit was Koreans, but I don't know what I'd say anymore. I don't know specifically which country, but I'd say lately it's been Spanish-speaking people who are very upset. Storm's not ready yet, but if it was.
연구가 끝났어요. 이제부터 재미있어질 거예요. 베스핀 가스가 더 필요해요.
I was gonna go for drops, but then I figured I'd just, after we take out the crap in front of your base, you just take middle and probably just kill whoever you want, honestly.
가스가 모자라서 할 수 없네요. 거기엔 소환이 안 될 것
RH.
같죠?
I was like, what's RH? And then I realized.
업그레이드가 끝났어요. 이제 뭐 하고 놀까요?
He's asking for observers where?
Tell me.
Oh,
can't have
you.
any.
아군이 공격받고 있어요.
Alright, there goes this big
You,
old
you,
drop.
you. He's not burning his liquors though.
He was.
Oh no, I meant at his base.
이런 친구가 공격받고 있네요. 친구야, 조심해. 오, 이런 친구가 공격받고 있네요. 친구야, 조심해. 오, 이런 친구가 공격받고 있네요. 친구야, 조심해.
Dang, there's no drop whatsoever.
우리 친구가 공격받고 있어요. 도와주러 가요.
I'll change that.
No, from 5 o'clock. I thought that was from 5.
오, 이런 친구가 공격받고 있네요. 친구야, 조심해.
Suck it.
에너지가 부족해요. 미네랄이 모자라요. 프로브, 빨리 움직여.
I hope this dude's ready.
우리 친구가 공격받고 있어요.
He's about to get it.
가요.
Those are great radiates. Which I actually meant that. I did the because he sent his mutas in like that and it just got wrecked.
They got garbled.
I was gonna drop that guy. Goodman, what up? Too creative for sure. All right. So if it's almost 2 for me, it's almost 3 for you. Let's call it a night. And GG Goodman. Be actively playing Babylon. Nice. Jumper's on. Should we host him?
Yeah.
I didn't end up going for that GD. That GD freaking Protoss. Carrier Rush. Well, dude, I'm stoked for tomorrow. I definitely believe that guy wasn't screen peeking. And
Well, if Too Creative can vouch for him, I believe it.
uh-huh.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Oh, dude, so when I said that, when I did the I went to Jumper's channel and someone did the "it's only game, why you have to be so mad?" It was perfect.
Oh, that was me.
That was you? Okay, I thought that was
Yeah.
him because he has
It's
all those
only
voice
game.
redeems.
Why you have to be mad?
I thought it was him. I love that video, but that was perfect of you. Then that's just